What's going on, everybody? This is Josh Engelman. This is the night shift for August 11th. Normally, this would be your man, Jake Hari, but tonight I am covering for him. I've loaded up all my information for tomorrow's main slate. We got a 10-gamer, so we're going to take a look at what I'm thinking are going to be my top stacks and my top pitchers. So I'm going to start with stacks, and then we'll transition to the pitching. So as of right now, I've got a pretty clear-cut top three. First two in particular, very, very definitive. So first, Indians looking like they're going to be my top stack. We'll dig into them here. Indians still against the White Sox. Indians have Trevor Bauer going, and the White Sox have my man James Shields. Obviously, I'm not super fond of James Shields, so this is a really nice spot. As of right now, the Indians have the second highest implied total at 5.4 runs, just a tenth of a run behind the Dodgers, who are still in cores. You know, Shields just struggles. One of the four worst pitchers in baseball via xFIP, and I think there's a lot of decent pricing for the Indians tomorrow. So on FanDuel, the three guys that I'd be looking at first and foremost would be Edwin Encarnacion at 3,500, Yonder Alonso at 3,100, and then Melky Cabrera, if he's hitting sixth at 2,200, I think he's a really nice piece of a stack. And on DK, man, do they look good. I fully expect them to be my top stack. Even though Lindor and Jose Ramirez are, a bit expensive, they still grade out really, really efficiently. So Lindor, Brantley, Ramirez, Encarnacion, Alonso. I'll take basically everyone on the squad in the projected lineup right now. Cabrera, Kipnis, Roberto Perez. Only guy that I don't have a ton of interest in would be Greg Allen. He's currently projected to hit ninth, 3,400. Just, it's a little bit tough to get to. He doesn't have the best bat. 78 weighted runs created plus via steamer. So I absolutely love the Indians. I love being able to get a shortstop and a third baseman, even though you're paying a premium. They couldn't look much better. And I have such little respect for James Shields as a pitcher at this point that I will happily be all over Cleveland. So next stack up would be the Red Sox. They are second for me on both sites. Red Sox in Baltimore. Again, starting pitching is up in the air here. Fangraphs had some different people listed. There wasn't a line out yet, so I made this up. I've been seeing a couple different names. Right now, what I'm seeing is William Cuevas for the Red Sox and Jeffrey Ramirez going for Baltimore. But keep an eye on this. It's not going to matter too much, mostly because it's not as if the Orioles are going to be trotting out someone good. If there's any variability here, it probably means that they don't have a good arm to go. So I'm definitely going to rely on Boston. They look great on both sites. Like I said, second on both. Top guys for me on FanDuel would be Jackie Bradley. If he's hitting sixth, only 2,500, I think he's a nice value. Helps you to make a stack of some of these more expensive guys. And then Mitch Moreland for 3,300, projected to hit third. Not going to find a much better first base option on FanDuel for that. If you get to Betts and Benintendi and JD Martinez, I think that's fine. JD and Mookie both over 5,000 on DK or on FanDuel, so you'll probably only get to one of those guys. I think that's why Jackie Bradley will be an incredibly helpful guy to have if he's hitting up in the order. And on DK, much like taking a look at the Indians, I love everything about the Red Sox. Happily paying 6,000 for Mookie Betts, happily paying 5,800 for JD Martinez. Jackie Bradley, not a horrible value at 4,000. I like Bogarts at 4,700. He donged to start this Red Sox game. It's about 8:30 Eastern for me right now. So Bogarts is hot. I like Benintendi. I like Eduardo Nunez and Devers. I don't think that I'll get to a lot of Sandy Leon. 3,300, hitting ninth. I don't mind bringing a catcher along for the ride, but I don't necessarily see this as the best spot. But Red Sox 5.3 run implied total, third highest on the slate behind the Dodgers and Indians. Whoever the Orioles are running out there, you definitely want to have a piece of the Red Sox. They're about as high end as they get. Now, for my third stack, it's a bit of a toss-up. The Dodgers do come out firmly in the third spot, but the Brewers are kind of close. Dodgers are third for me on DK, fourth on FanDuel, and the Brewers are third on FanDuel, fifth on DK. So I'll take a quick look at my Dodgers. I say my Dodgers because I've been taking them over and over and over again. Tomorrow, not going to be any different. Per the site that I saw, this is Walker Buehler against Kyle Freeland, which now is giving me pause. Freeland just went like 2 days ago, didn't he? Or am I already forgetting things that have happened in like no time whatsoever? Freeland last started on August 6th. Yeah, so I guess he could be going tomorrow. So keep an eye on projected starters if this is not Freeland. There were a couple undecided, so I'm just assuming this site is going with their best guess. Dodgers highest implied total in cores again. If they are getting a lefty, I mean, is there a better team right now set up to face a lefty? Dozier, Machado, Turner, Kemp, Kike, Chris Taylor, Austin Barnes. I mean, I don't even see Puig here. I just love it all. Dozier, Machado, Turner, Kemp on DK. You're obviously paying a decent premium for Dozier and Machado, but oh boy, that is about as high end as it's going to get. I love paying up for these bats in cores. I really hope they do get a lefty. Not that it would matter all that much for me. I'm just super high on the Dodgers right now. A bunch of home runs last night, that would be Thursday night. I'm hoping that they can do it again tonight. So keep an eye here, but the Dodgers are going to be a highly owned stack just because. I mean, 5.5 run implied total, no matter what. They're going to be over 5 and they're going to be popular. And I love being able to grab these sorts of high-end bats. Like Machado, 127 projected weighted runs created plus. Justin Turner, 128. All these top 5 guys are all over 100. Even Austin Barnes at catcher is only at 94 weighted runs created plus. That's a really nice hitting projection for a catcher. So I like this entire lineup on DK. I probably wouldn't have any Barnes on FanDuel since you don't need a catcher. But 1 through 8, I want all of the Dodgers in cores for what feels like the 10th straight day. But, you know, that's fine. I like the Dodgers. What do you want me to do? So those are my first 3 teams. Like I said, I think the Brewers are going to grade out pretty well for me tomorrow. You know, I could see the Cardinals having a decent grade. Angels and Orioles are probably in play a little bit on FanDuel, a little bit less so on DK. But there's a lot to look at. I'll probably tweet out some of my information tomorrow. I should be playing the main slate. I might just stick to the early. I don't know. It's going to depend how the day goes. Saturday, normally my day off. So it's usually a day that I take off fully from DFS and put in a little time with the wife. But if I am playing, I'll make sure to get my information out there. Now, for pitching, couple major options at the high end, which I think is pretty interesting. It's a very different pitching slate than what we've been seeing lately. I like a lot of what's at the top and not a ton of what's in the middle. And lately, I have been doing a lot more of the opposite. So we've got 5 guys from 8,200 or more on DK. That would be Trevor Bauer at 12.5, grades out really well. Charlie Morton at 11.5. I think I like Bauer a little bit more than I like Morton there. Aaron Nola at 9,800. He's going to be my chalk of the day. I think that he's in an exceptional spot. Nola with a 7.5K projection. He basically has the exact same projection as Charlie Morton, and he's about 2 points behind Trevor Bauer. Bauer at 21.9 on DK, Nola at 19.99. But I'd much rather have Nola in that scenario at a much cheaper price point, a full, $2,700. So I like Nola a lot. I like Jack Flaherty a lot. I expect to get to Nola a ton, Flaherty a ton. I don't expect to have too much Morton. Bauer probably somewhere in the neighborhood of double Morton. But if I had to guess, my ownership cap for tomorrow on pitching on DK is 41%. So if my ownership cap is at 41%, I'd expect to see Nola somewhere in the low 30s to mid 30s. Flaherty probably in the high 20s to low 30s. Maybe like 2-3% Morton, and probably somewhere in like the 6 or 7% Bauer range. Just a guess right now. I can't run a crunch. And then moving down a little bit further, I think Tyler Skaggs is probably an okay value at 82. Walker Buehler at 7,700 I think is a really, really nice value. I expect him to be relatively popular both on the slate and for me. And then you can kind of mix and match all these low salary guys, whether that's Corey Oswalt or Ty Block if he's going for the Giants, Walker Lockett. I see a lot of similarities here. So basically anyone from Dan Straley down is probably going to get a look for me outside of Edwin Jackson and James Shields. Those are two guys that I just don't really have much individual respect for. So Straley, Miley, Oswalt, Block, Lockett, nobody really standing out, and they're all in a similar enough price range that I'll probably have a bit of a scatter to them. If I had to guess, Corey Oswalt is going to be the guy that gets the most ownership out of any of my guys. But being able to go down to Nola and Flaherty and to Walker Buehler means that I won't have to use as much of those low tier guys. If I was using more Bauer, I would probably need to plant my flag a little bit more on the low salary guys, but I don't like them as much. I like trying to get to maybe some more expensive pitching tomorrow for the first time in a while. Outside of the Red Sox stack being hyper expensive, I don't think that I'll have too much problem getting to that. So just going over some of the projections I have. On FanDuel, Bauer is at 44.5. He's 21.9 on DK, 8.9 strikeouts. Morton is 40.35 on FanDuel, 9.5 on DK. He's got 7.6 strikeouts. As I mentioned, Nola, 40 projection on FanDuel, 20 projection on DK, 7.5 Ks. Flaherty and Walker Buehler, the other two pitchers that have strikeout projections north of 7. So let's just take one quick look at the games for Nola and for Flaherty. Phillies in Petco. Padres right now, 3.2 run implied total. That is the lowest of the slate. All signs pointing to Nola being just an absolutely elite play. Padres have been absolutely atrocious. I said absolutely twice in like 5 seconds. I hate when I do that. Oh well. 80 weighted runs created plus for the Padres against righties. So much swing and miss in this order. The only guy that doesn't swing and miss like significantly more than average is Manny Margot, who's at 17%. But I want to have an overwhelming amount of Nola. Great pitcher's park, great total. You're not going to find anything better than that. A little bit of a pause there as I click back between sheets. Jack Flaherty, the other guy that I would like to take a look at. Cardinals in Kansas City. Kansas City, 3.8 run implied total. Looks to be like fourth lowest of the entire slate. I like Flaherty's ability to miss bats. Royals, Brett Phillips in the projected lineup for the Royals, 34% K rate. Like Luke Duda, 26. Bonifacio, 26. Ryan O'Hearn, 28. Mondesi, 28. There's going to be a lot of strikeouts on the table for the Royals tomorrow. 83 weighted runs created plus against righties this season. It's impossible for me to avoid Flaherty. I want to have a lot of exposure to Jack Flaherty and Aaron Nola as of right now. If anything like that changes, I'll be happy to let everybody know. But I think that'll allow me to minimize my Charlie Morton exposure and allow me to not go too crazy there paying up for pitching. For FanDuel, I know that I kind of gloss over FanDuel pitching. It's sort of just because it's a little bit more cut and dry. Bauer, Morton, Nola, Flaherty, and Walker Buehler are going to make up what I would imagine to be 90+% of my exposure. Buehler at 7,100, Jack Flaherty at 8,000. Those are guys that are just going to be really easy to get to. Only Bauer has a crazy price point at 12,000. Morton and Nola just north of 10. They'll be easy to get to. So Bauer's a bit of a struggle, but he definitely has the highest end upside. He has got a 25% chance of being the top scoring pitcher per my model on FanDuel. All four of the guys that I mentioned Bauer, Morton, Nola, Flaherty all have more than 10% chance of being the top scoring pitcher. Their grand total would be 66%. If I add Walker Buehler to that list, 75% of the highest scoring pitcher will be one of those 5 guys. I'd like to have most of my exposure there as well. Whew. 15 quick minutes, everybody. I just wanted to make sure that I got this out there and got everybody what I'm looking at. Like I said, Saturday is not normally my day. I am usually off, so no one ever sees me play a Saturday slate or ever gets to see any of my data. So I wanted to make sure that I gave all of that out. I hope everybody's having a good Friday night. I hope everybody's having a successful Friday night. Hit me up in the morning if you have any questions. I will definitely be around the house. Best of luck tomorrow. I will be back Sunday morning for a live stream just prior to lock. I will cover the night shift Sunday night as well. Myself and Jake will be back Monday morning. Check out all the Spotlight Hitters, Pitchers, and Stacks articles. They will be out for Jake in the morning. You'll get Jake's perspective on the hitters and stacks and pitchers that he likes for Saturday. So, with that said, thank you guys for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe to us wherever you can subscribe to us because that is super helpful. And I will talk to you again Sunday morning.